Welcome to the Clubhouse Corner with Benny, Moose, and Eddie. Straight from Fremont to the Clubhouse. Dive into a world where East Coast golf elegance meets West Coast chill. All right, Eddie, hey, we're here again, Clubhouse Corner.
Benny Moose, let's do it.
Episode 11.
Double digits.
Double digits. Hockey sticks.
That's great. Love it.
Yeah, it's still going strong.
Yeah, how have you been, Benny? Good?
Yeah, I've been okay. Had a rough golf weekend this weekend. We can talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, oof. The golf game is in shambles.
Yep. Yeah. It's all my fault.
I was blaming you all weekend.
Yep, I do.
You weren't even there?
You're not the first person. You won't be the last for sure.
I know. It's an interesting game, isn't it?
It's the best game.
It is the best game.
It's the hardest game. It's the most rewarding game. And it's a game that, we love and hate.
That's right. And the ball's just sitting there. It's not even moving.
Yeah.
Stupid game. Anyway, we love it, though. And that's why we're here.
That's what we do, yeah.
Well, anyway, looking forward to a good show again. Want to thank our sponsors, Trumer Pills and Bear Companies. Trumer Pills is the, what, Eddie?
The most award-winning Pilsner in the world.
In the world.
In the world.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
And I would just find out that none of this stuff is made here. The hops and whatever, they bring it over from Europe.
From Austria.
In Austria.
Yeah, pretty wild.
That's unbelievable.
I know. And there's only one tap room up in Berkeley.
Berkeley, yep. Go visit it, yep.
Go see Derek.
Yep.
So, and then Bear Companies.
Bear Company as well.
Bear Companies. Mike Peters, the big Papa Bear. Thank you, Mike, making this all happen.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We have a special guest here today, Eddie. You brought a buddy in. We have Ralph here.
Ralph Cavana from the Brothers Window and Door. Ralph, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure.
And we've had the pleasure of playing together once or twice, and you've hung out at the Clubhouse, and you're a golf enthusiast, and then you and Eddie have a pretty big trip coming up soon.
That's right. Ralph and I have become good family friends over the last, 4 or 5 years, 6 years maybe.
Yep.
And this year, I'm glad to say that we are going to another bucket list trip to Southwest Ireland at the end of July. We've got 8 rounds in 6 days. I'm taking Ralph, his son Jesse. Yep. Jesse's bringing his friend Trent. And we're bringing Mike Hernandez, which is another good friend of ours. Yep. And we're bringing a member from your club, Lauren Canada, Mike T. Smith.
Mike MTS.
MTS.
And Mike's bringing 2 of his buddies from high school. And, Ralph knows Mike. So it all came together about 6 months ago. And we put the trip together. We're going Southwest Ireland. I'm from the north, which is the good part. But anyway, it's all good. We've got 36 holes at Old Head. That's our first round, and our first 2 rounds in the first day. And the last day, we've got 36 holes at Trump International at Doonbeg. We're playing Killarney. No, so we're not playing Killarney. We're staying in Killarney.
There, yeah.
We're playing Ballybunion. We're playing Waterville. We're playing Tralee. We're playing Dukes. It's going to be epic. It's tough to beat Scotland last year, Ben, but this is going to be some trip because we're bringing family, friends, and it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to it.
If you have a bad time over there, don't come home.
Yeah.
Okay, because I tell you, these things are absolutely incredible.
No, I can't wait. It's the first big trip that I've taken with my son, and to boot MTS, which he's married to my cousin.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and then I grew up with the 2 friends that he's bringing since I was a kid.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
So it's just a close-knit group that are going to have a great time together, and we've already proved that golfing at La Rinconada just recently.
Do they have enough Irish whiskey in the southwestern part of
That
Ireland?
I don't know. Probably not enough for me and Eddie. For everyone else, maybe.
Yeah, so, we met up at the Clubhouse maybe in March so that everybody could meet each other. We had a little trunk show. Callaway was there with, we're getting all the rain jackets, rain hats, all that stuff, gloves, balls, shoes. We had a nice little trunk show. We tried some whiskey just so everyone can get to meet each other. And then last week we went to play La Rinconada so we could actually play some golf together. And it was a great time.
And I wore everything that I bought that night and felt like $1 million. It was really quality stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And then we're going to meet up one more time at Boulder Ridge where you're a member at, right, Ralph?
Correct.
June 1st.
June 1st. Yep.
We're going to get the back room. And then I think we should be good to go. We should be all set.
Yep.
We're all flying out at the same time on the same plane. So we're going to have a great trip.
Oh, that's nice.
Whenever we went to Scotland, we were kind of scattered and we kind of met up together.
Yeah, we were.
This here, we're all going at the same time.
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah,
because you can go talk on the plane if you want to and go through customs together and That's awesome. That makes it a lot easier for sure.
It's a little tricky to get there because when it's not a direct flight. We have to connect. I think we're connecting in Chicago, fly into Shannon, which is the airport down in the southwest, and then from there we get picked up by our coach driver. It's about a 2-hour drive, so we all get there at the same time. We all arrive at the hotel at the same time, and it's going to be epic. We've been planning this trip for about 6 months. Ralph's got his new clubs. He's got a new bag. He's got all the
New
swag.
grips, new balls.
He's
As
been
a matter of fact, I need to place a second order for a lot more stuff because it's addicting.
Well, I mean, what do you recommend for Ralph, Eddie? It's a whole different style of game over there.
Oh, for sure. Look, first of all, bring plenty of golf balls. It's so much harder. Here we have rough. We call the gorse over there the munchies because they just eat your ball out. So one shot, see you ball. So we're gonna get some more balls for Ralph. I would say, how many balls should we bring? How many balls did you bring to Scotland?
I brought 18 golf balls.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I think I lost 6.
Hey, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
I didn't play great golf, but I didn't lose any golf
Yeah,
balls. Not many.
I played shit golf and lost a lot of golf balls. So I brought like 3 dozen and came back with 2, I think.
Yeah, I think
And I'm the pro.
Oh,
That's
man.
so
no.
goes to show you how much harder it is.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
so
need
windy.
like 12 dozen.
Ship them over ahead of time.
Actually, that's not a bad
Send them
idea.
directly to the hotel.
To the hotel, yeah.
'Cause you don't want to buy them there. They're like $25 a sleeve.
Yeah,
That's
because
higher
they
end.
got the logo on it. If you go down, to, same thing. You go down to Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
A dozen Pro V1s probably cost $55. They charge probably $110
Oh,
just because
maybe.
you're buying it.
That's right.
At these places. But we're all prepared. We got our rain jacket, rain pants. We got our Gore-Tex shoes. We always prepare for the worst, expect the best.
Bring multiple pairs of shoes and lots of socks. Especially if it
Socks
gets wet.
is the only thing that I haven't gotten. But
and
I
even
did
some
buy the
flip
shoes
flops,
and
maybe.
everything else.
Maybe
Hey,
some flip flops.
It depends on the weather. But 70-degree windy day is perfect flip-flop weather.
Really?
Last day we were in Scotland, we played the Pebble Beach of Scotland called King's Barnes. And it's a long week walking. We get out to the first hole, and Ben's caddy says, he said something about a golf cart, and he went and got a golf cart for Ben, and then Ben had his flip-flops in his golf bag. His caddy got the flip-flops out. So Ben's playing with a cart in flip-flops in Scotland. He was a happy boy.
Most fun round of my life.
Were they regular flip-flops or golf
Yeah, regular
flip-flops? So no spikes underneath it.
Oh, no, I don't need that. I can still outdrive Eddie, even with flip-flops on. But Ralph, you're going to have an amazing time. What's your most anticipated course? Have you looked him up?
No, but I've been hearing him talk about everything over there, and I think Old Head looks like the most
Old Head is probably the
spectacular.
most scenic. I don't think it's the greatest layout, but it's the most scenic. It's on its own little island, 50-foot drop offs. But I think the best course that you're going to like is Waterville. That's renowned as being like the number one. Ballybunion is steeped in history of being one of the best courses in Ireland, but Waterville, for the Americans going over, I think that could be number one. I've only played Ballybunion. That's the only course on the road I've played.
Out of all the ones,
Out of all the ones there, because
Really?
I grew up in Northern Ireland. I was a member at Roy Rush Golf Club. Why would I want to drive 10 hours to go play another course that's not as good?
Absolutely.
So,
Note to self: you have a chance to beat Eddie.
No, I want not to steal thunder from your trip, but that King's Barnes round, I played with Eddie the last day, and Eddie hit one of the most amazing, beautiful shots I've ever seen in my life. Par 3 uphill, about what, 210
yeah, something like
ish
that.
to 10 feet into 40-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, it was incredible.
No way.
It was water on the right,
Yep.
and the wind was gushing left to right. I had to start it over trees on the left,
Yeah.
and I didn't birdie it. But the par 3 before I birdied that. Remember
right,
that
I
one? It
do.
was like a 7-iron and a 20-foot putt.
Yep.
I was like, rolling back the years. That was great. That was a great way to end the trip.
Yeah.
And yeah.
He just played Boulder and ended up with a 74, and he wasn't even trying.
Well, he could play. He could go under par in his sleep if he wanted to.
Yeah, I think
for
so.
sure.
If he plays a little more.
Well, that's it. You got to play your way into a good rhythm. It's if I play, on that trip, I started off terrible because I'm like so anticipated and all the rest of it. But I played my way into playing some decent rounds.
Yeah.
But that 74 at Kings Barnes is something that will go down in memory.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
you're gonna have great memories with your son, and your son's gonna have great memories with his friend. He's really looking forward to it. Jesse is a brand new golfer as well, and I've been giving him lessons at the clubhouse. He came up today and had a lesson. He did really good today. We talked about balance. Golf is the hardest game in the world because there's so many moving parts.
Right.
When you're bobbling up and down and losing your balance, it's so hard. So we've been working pretty hard on that, and he did great today. So if he can get those fundamentals and bring that to Southern Ireland, I think he's going to have a great try.
He's got some time left still.
Yeah.
When you go, June?
End of July.
End of July.
End of July. Ella, my daughter Ella is going to go there for the whole month of July.
Oh, wow.
And she's going to stay with my parents up north. And my parents are going to come down and visit Ralph and all the group. We're going to have a couple of dinners with them. And Ella's going to come down with them as well. And she's flying out to Ireland by herself this year.
That's amazing.
And but the day that I fly out is like August 3rd. I fly out from Shannon with the rest of you guys. And then Ella's going back up to Dublin, and she's flying out by herself. So
wow.
When we get back to San Francisco, I'm going to have to wait for Ella for 3 hours, and she flies in.
Yeah, you can make 3 hours go by pretty quick.
For sure.
That won't be a problem.
Oh, it's going to be great. And then she starts back at school, and so she's going to have a great summer. I'm going to have a great summer.
That's spectacular.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, it's all good.
So besides, being windy, rainy, cold, etc., the game obviously is different over there. So what is your biggest anticipation of how to play over there without any, interjection?
I mean, my goal is just to try to keep it on the fairway.
Yeah,
that's as much as I'm going to try. And if I can do that, I'll be a happy man.
Heck yeah.
Fairways and greens.
Fairways
Yep.
and greens.
Fairways and greens.
And whiskey.
and don't drink it all.
No, got to pace yourself.
That's right.
You know why there's 18 holes in golf? Do you know?
You know what? You told me one time.
Because there's 18 shots of whiskey.
Oh, okay. That's right.
18 shots of whiskey in a
In a bottle.
And that's why they came up with 18. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, there was like different lengths of courses. There was like 13 holes, there was 9 holes, there was 10 holes. They had to come to some sort of agreement, and they did it in St. Andrews. It was, one of the guys said, I have a shot of whiskey on each hole, and there's 18 shots in a bottle. 18 holes of golf.
That's funny.
Look, it even comes with a awesome story.
Isn't that
what
cool?
a great game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I could do 18 shots of whiskey in a round of golf.
I don't think so. Either.
Benny Moose can get loose, but that would be a train wreck. But anyway, you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna have so much fun. I can't wait to hear about it.
Yep.
When you get back. Well, we're gonna roll into our tip of the week.
Okay.
And just talking about European golf, Scotland, Ireland, etc. I'm just going to take this one and say, Eddie, let me back up a second. I played in my club championship this weekend at La Rinconada. Mm-hmm. Did not play well. I'm not happy with myself. But it was windy. I mean, we had gusts of 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
And it was a nice day. It got cold in the afternoon on Thursday. Thursday was a qualifier.
Right.
But it reminded me of playing in Scotland.
Yeah.
So my question for you on the tip of the week is whether it's a driver, mid-iron, or wedge, even on the greens. I mean, they have different grass over there, so the balls don't roll because it's windy all the time.
Right.
But how do you, for the average golfer, keep the ball below the wind?
Well, first of all, the difference between Irish golf, Scottish golf, American golf is golf links style golf courses. The definition of links golf courses is right beside the water. So you have a lot of wind you're dealing with. You have a lot of different types of sandy grasses. Basically, that type of golf, you're playing it along the ground. Here in America, you're playing it in the air because, the wind, it's not that windy. Over there, it's very, very windy. So you have to keep the ball down low. Lots of ways to do that. Play the ball back in your stance. That's one way to do it. You have to lean the shaft forward to deal off the club. And you have to strike the middle of the face. You could give me that 40-mile-an-hour wind, and if I strike it right, that wind doesn't take the ball. Right. So you have to strike the ball good. Whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in Ireland, they're renowned as being some of the best ball strikers. So when you hit a golf ball and you deal off the club, the shaft leans forward. So you've always have to strike the ball good with the handle leading forward. When you put the ball in the back of your stance, yes, you can have the handle leading forward. That's one way to do it. But the difference between playing those elements, you have to strike it.
And that's hooding the club, essentially.
I would say hooding would be closing the face.
All the way. Okay.
I would say de-lofting the club is leaning the shaft forward.
Gotcha.
You can still keep the face square, and lean the handle back and create more loft. But that would be fanning or opening the face. Hooding the club face is closing the face. You got a problem, you could pull that one left.
Big time, quickly.
I've always told people, like, you can change ball flight lots of different ways. One way to do it is put the ball back in your stance. When that happens, you can block it to the right because the path goes out to the right. If you put the ball forward in your stance, yes, you can hit it high, but you can pull it left. So the way I kind of have always done it, if I want to hit a low golf shot, I finish low in my follow through. If I want to hit a high golf shot, I finish fully in high, and I have a standard stock finish.
So kind of like a check swing in baseball.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, if you want to put it in perspective.
Yeah, and that's essentially a punch shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Punch shot is the easiest shot to me to hit because you're de-lofting it, put the ball forward, get that good strike. That ball stays low and it goes underneath the wind. The biggest difference also is around the greens. Here in America, we're traditionally taught to grab your lob wedge, grab your sand wedge, get out of the cart, and just take that with your putter. You know, it can get so windy over there that the shot that you really want to do, as I said, you want to play it along the ground. So bump and run shots. So you're bumping the ball onto the green, letting that run. And that's what a chip shot is, a bump shot. You know, I've hit shots like that with a 5-iron, 6-iron, 7-iron.
Sure.
Here, like, you're just kind of
56
lob wedge,
whatever,
put it up in the sky like Phil Mickelson, throw it up there, that wind can affect it. So two different types of golf. Play it along the ground in Ireland, Scotland. Here it's playing up in the sky. Yeah.
You talked about, golfers from Texas. Number one golfer in the world, Scotty Scheffler, ball striking magician. And, I bet you he does pretty well over in Europe this year.
Yeah.
They're playing my course, Troon.
That's right. This year, yeah. That's gonna be so fun to watch.
Oh my gosh!
Knowing that you've played that course and you know where the greens are at, how that breaks, how you played it. And that was your favorite course.
Super cool. Loved it. Just fit my eye. I scored the best there, and it was just a lot of fun. Quick little story. My caddy at Troon. You talk about not hitting a gap wedge 56, whatever, around the greens. Well, those lies are tight. They're like this, going up to the green.
Yep.
There's basically very little transition, in the different of grass, surface. Right. So my caddy's like, okay, well, I think you should putt it like 40 feet right of the bunker. I'm like, no way. So I pulled out my 60 degree, played like I was at home.
Right.
And I made the shot. And he was like, all right, lad, Right. So, but I mean, there wasn't every shot, obviously. But most of the time, if you're in front, you're hitting a Texas wedge.
Basically, golf is to do with risk. If I take a 9-iron and I take a sand wedge and I'm trying to make them go the same distance, with a sand wedge, I have to take a bigger swing. Mm-hmm. And a 9-iron, I have to take a shorter swing. Mm-hmm. The longer you swing that club back from the ball, the faster you swing it, the more chance you're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
So, you give me the golden rule in short game is putt when you can, chip when you can't putt, and then pitch when you can't chip. And that's basically to do with risk. Right? Yeah, so if you're off the green, you got nothing to go over, putt that all day long. You can be using a little hybrid or a 9-iron, play that bump and run shot. If you've got to chip it onto the green, okay, we'll use your 9-iron or something like that. Now, if you got to go over a bunker, well, you got to go to your lofted wedge, hit that up in the air. But give me that person who hits 10 shots with a sand wedge or lob wedge, and this person that hits 10 shots with his 9-iron, the average 9-iron should get closer than the sand wedge because it's to do with less risk.
And you're swinging softer.
A
little bit more control.
A little slower, yeah.
So I was talking to somebody this weekend. I told you my golf game's in shambles. My wedge game, we really need to work on my 120 yards in. Yeah. My distance control is horrible. So I was talking to somebody this weekend. What do I need to do I used to be pretty good with that. My grip changed a little bit. He'll swing softer. Yeah. Like, hey, that doesn't really help in the moment.
Right.
It really doesn't, but
I would say, soft hands is a great tip around the green for any short shot, but there's so many ways to, manipulate distance.
Yeah.
You could, if you're a left brain thinker, you could think of a clock system almost like the ball is 6 o'clock, halfway back, 9 o'clock. You could do like a clock system. How many wedges do you have?
I have 4 wedges.
So you have 4 wedges. If four 9 to 3s, that's 4 different distances.
Totally. Right.
10 to 2s, that's 4. That kind of person needs to get his rangefinder out, kind of walk it off, perfect it like that. I would say that would be like, Bryson DeChambeau, that kind of and then you have the other way of thinking is like a right brain thinker. He's like the artist.
The creative, the Jordan Spieth.
Right, exactly. There's a million ways to do it. So, in short game, you have to always adjust. The full swing is pretty much the full swing. You're going to take your 7-iron out, go at 80% pretty much most of the time. But short game, you have to change length, you have to change speed, you have to use your imagination, and that comes from, obviously trying to figure out what kind of golfer you are, and constantly calibrating. Most of the time, we're not the same person every day.
Well, then over there, you have upwind, downwind, side wind, right wind, left wind,
right,
backwards wind, swirling wind.
So
when we played in King's Barnes, it was the last day. I was reminiscent of the past. That makes me start thinking.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm like, you're in this challenging environment with this freaking hard hole. On that par 3, you saw me hit that shot. There's water on the right. If I hit it right at the hole, that ball's in the water.
Yeah.
So there's these trees, these 40, 50-foot trees on the left. I had to start the ball over there, left of the green, and use the wind and actually draw it against the wind to hold it up.
But Andy was uphill, and then when he got past the trees, then the wind hit it. I mean, it was so amazing. It was.
Wow.
So to me, that makes my brain think. Whenever I was growing up, I playing golf at Port Stewart Golf Club, where it can get really obviously windy.
Sure.
I only ever saw golf clubs. I never saw yardages.
Uh-huh.
So when I looked at a shot, it could be probably 3 clubs. I could probably hit any of these 3 clubs that distance.
Sure.
On whatever I'm trying to do. I never saw numbers.
But it was wind control.
Wind control, and here it's like, get your rangefinder. It is what it is. That's the number.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to use your imagination, and that makes my brain kind of tick.
I might have to get another 5 cases of balls.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's. But when it, like Eddie says, when it goes into those, what do you call it? The gorse, the cookie monster?
The munchies,
the munchies,
the munchies.
Those things are so thick. You can't even put your hand in there without getting mauled up.
Really?
You just leave it.
No,
you don't even try.
That's gone.
Yeah, you don't even try. Well, that's good, Eddie. Swing control, distance control, de-lofting, forward pressing.
Yep.
But ball, it's all ball striking at that point.
Yep. When you strike the ball properly, that wind does not affect it. If you hit it off the toe and the heel, that wind's going to take it.
100%.
And that's something that is renowned for people in Florida, Texas, Ireland, all good ball strikers. Mm-hmm. The ironic thing about it is Rory McIlroy is a high ball hitter.
You're right.
And he's from Ireland. So his ball flight really isn't conducive to what Irish golfers would be like, because we had it low, penetrate, run the ball up, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But his game works at any golf course, I guess. 2
of your boys won this weekend.
Yeah, Rory and Shane.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
They played at TPC Louisiana.
Yeah.
When I moved across the country here, in 2016. I drove 4,343 miles in 10 days from New York to California to be close to my daughter. And I went from New York to North Carolina, saw a friend, went to Georgia, saw a friend, went to Florida, saw a friend, went over to Pensacola, and then I ended up going over to New Orleans. And I called TPC Louisiana. I'm like, hey, any chance I can come out and play? He goes, yeah, no problem. Took a golf cart, played in 2 hours, sun came down. Went and checked in. The Hilton over at New Orleans had a good old night. Had the green grenades. That place is fun.
Love it.
The beignets, the French Quarter. Man, I was supposed to get up the next morning at 5:00 and go to Dallas.
How'd that work out?
That did not work out.
That was good.
No, that did not work out. But yeah, good for Rory and Shane. They looked like they were having fun out there.
Totally. Right? I didn't know they grew up playing golf together. They're like kid friends. Their kids are friends.
That's right. Growing up there, they have the Golfing Union of Ireland, which is the oldest union of golf in the whole world. They're playing for those teams a lot, and they're representing Ireland. So they know each other. Graham McDowell, Darren Clark, Shane Lowry, they know all each other. I mean,
but that's your old stomping ground too. You were in all that world.
That's right. I grew up with Graham. I'm like 10 years older than Rory, so I don't really know Rory. But it's just the golf world is a small kind of world, especially in Ireland. It's not that big of a country, but we produce so many major winner champions, and I'm like, well, why is that? You don't have great conditions. The weather's terrible.
It's just beautiful.
But the golf courses are hard as hell. And golfers there are out playing golf all the time. They're not sitting at a range trying to think pretty swing.
Correct. They're playing golfing.
They're playing golf.
They're playing golf.
As opposed to practicing golf.
That's like going and running on a beach, and then jumping on an asphalt road. How much faster? Where are you going to be faster?
Right.
So it's, you go play over there, you come over here, and golf just feels easier for
Yeah.
the first few rounds.
I always said, like, if you want to have a good golf season, for the whole season, go play go play a week in golf in Scotland or Ireland.
Absolutely.
Obviously, that's easier said than done because it costs a pretty penny to do it, but it's so much harder.
So that means I'm guaranteed to be better when I come back.
Yes.
Guaranteed, guaranteed, and you're not
It
getting
might
your money
be not
back.
that expensive.
Yeah.
Well, guys, have a blast over there. Eddie, thanks for the tip of the week. Ralph, thank you again for being here. We got to, talk about the clubhouse here for a second. It's summertime up there.
It's a pleasure. The clubhouse is phenomenal.
Thank you. We have that patio that's, ready to rock and roll for the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Book some bocce courts, drink some wine, some beer, have some good food, bring your friends out. We're going to do some live music on, I think it's June 1st.
Do we have a summer series starting this year again?
We don't have the full series. We just have one band, and then we're going to kind of cherry pick and see who can bring the best draw.
Okay.
I think we figured out how to, host the concerts, but we want to make sure that we have the right concerts this year. So we have RPM coming, not the real RPM, or it's they're calling it Uno de Juno. Is the name of the concert. So we'll have cantina style, Latino food, or Latin food, and then RPM will be playing. We'll have beer and drink and, cocktail specials all on the patio. So if you hear it, come check it out. It's going to be fun.
Great.
And then not to mention just corporate events in general, birthday parties, team building, corporate offsites, and of course, Eddie's golf lessons. So
yeah, it's busy. I've got full schedule this week. I've got 4 lessons today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We got golf leagues Wednesday, Thursday night, bocce league Wednesday night. So Wednesday, Thursday, it's popping. This coming May, we got a busy month. We got demo days. Callaway's going to be there. TaylorMade, Mizuno are going to be there on Fridays. We also have a member guest coming up on the 17th. And we got new head covers. We got new hats. The golf shop's popping, and swing by the clubhouse.
So we're gonna do that member guest. Where are we playing there?
We're gonna go over to Baylands Golf Links on Friday the 17th.
Okay.
We're gonna have like clubhouse swag.
Of which month?
May.
Of May. Okay.
May. So we got 3 demo days. We got a member guest. We got the clubhouse podcast going on.
That's a good course to practice on. Because they have
gets
really
a little
tight
windy, too.
lives.
Never
It's
been
windy.
there.
That's a good one. You should come up for the member guest and play in that.
I'm down.
That's a good one for a good tune-up for Irish golf, for sure.
How many cases of balls should I bring?
No, you're not going to lose any balls there. You'll be fine. You should be.
Looks like I'll be placing an order tomorrow morning.
You're going to.
That's funny. Well, again, thank you, Ralph, for being here. Have an amazing time.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
being
it.
on the
I
show.
will.
Really
We're just
appreciate
hoping
it.
that he can handle all of us and not end up leaving
You
us.
know what the beauty of Eddie when
He's
he
got
gets
patience.
when he gets frustrated, he just walks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just says,
it.
"You know what? I'm done."
That's the Irish goodbye.
See you
Yeah,
later.
but the problem is he's staying in my room, so
Oh.
he can't walk away.
Oh well, he'll tell you stories about us rooming together. But no, thank you to our sponsors again: Trumer Pills, Bear Companies,
Mike Peters, thanks guys.
Mike-
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, no, this is.
By the way, it's delicious.
it is delicious.
delicious.
It's refreshing. It's very refreshing. It's crisp. So, anyway, what do you do, Eddie?
Well, this is our sign-off note. Turning tragic into magic, one golfer at a time.
Hit him straight, but not often, everybody, and have a great week.
Awesome.